Hi, my fellow YouTubers. This is Teacher Party. So I decided that on a Monday I'm going to share career advice since I am a professional accountant, and also on any other day I'm going to share academic content. So today I just wanted to share with the young accountants that are joining the field some valuable advice that can help them in their career. Some of the things we learned by experience, and some of the things I had great mentors along the way that showed me how to navigate in the accounting world. Now, I want to talk about you successfully completing a learnership and getting the most out of your learnership, getting the most out of your articles. Now, I'm a trained accountant, I'm not an auditor, so I'm just going to speak in an accounting or in an accountant's perspective. If you're starting out your career straight from your degree, straight from your CTA, or straight from your academic honors, and you are awarded a learnership, or you are awarded a training contract, as a young accountant, make the most of it. First impressions last. In an accounting world, it's just like in a schooling environment. The people you know as a senior accountant, you know those that perform, you know those that do not perform. The average people you somehow know, don't know, but it's like that in a teaching environment or a lecturing environment. You know the excelling student and you know the struggling student. So when you enter into the accounting world, make it a point that the opportunity you are given, you make the best use of it by establishing yourself as number one, a reliable accountant or a reliable trainee. Don't be this trainee or this trainee accountant that is not available for work Monday, not available for work Friday. And every time there's a I'm sick story, but there's no sick note to substantiate that. Please avoid those pitfalls, young accountants. Be the one that is named the reliable trainee accountant, the reliable junior accountant, the reliable assistant accountant. Don't be given any other name. Look forward to being called the reliable one. And you're going to be awarded that name, the reliable accountant, if you are indeed reliable. If you have no shows Mondays and Fridays and there's no valid documentation to substantiate it, it's gonna harm your career before it even begins. That's advice number one. Advice number two, learn to do your work speedily. In an accounting world, there is great respect for an efficient accountant. So when you are still on your training contract, when you're still on your learnership in an accounting or in a finance department, be the efficient young accountant. Efficiency means if they want a vet report before 9 o'clock, you give it to your seniors 8:30. If they want a report 1 o'clock, you give it to them 12:30. If that cannot be achieved, you communicate timelessly. You don't communicate 3 o'clock for a report that was expected 12:30, that you can't do it. Impressions last in an accounting world. First impressions, any other impression that follows after that, they last. So you want to be labeled, number one, as the reliable trainee or reliable assistant accountant. And secondly, you want to be labeled as the most efficient. So efficiency also in an accounting world is directly linked to you knowing systems, knowing accounting systems. You might know by now that if you are awarded a training contract or a learnership, especially in a JSE listed entity, they have systems in place. Even in an SME, they will have accounting packages in place. So your efficiency is directly embedded in you mastering the systems. You must know the systems like the back of your hand, inside out, because you use systems to do recording in an accounting world. You use systems to pull reports. So if you're not savvy with the system your organization is using, you are already on the inefficient line, because it takes forever for you to pull a report when someone urgently needs it for decision making. So avoid the pitfall of being the inefficient accountant. The other important trait as a young accountant entering into the field: be accurate. Produce accurate work. Produce accurate and complete work. You don't want to be this young accountant that doesn't have his or her ducks in a row. So make sure your work is accurate. If you are tasked to complete a VAT return, apply yourself. Go beyond the norm. Know what influences the VAT calculation in your organization. Yes, you might have experience in terms of your academic content on how to do VAT. I'm just making an example. But when you enter into an organization, learn which VAT principles are applicable to the organizations, which principles are not applicable to that organization. Learn the tax laws that affect that organization. Many are queries you will get outside your department of people needing assistance. Many of those are audit related, many of those are tax related. So you need to be the accurate accountant. You cannot risk it and produce reports that are incomplete. That means you don't consult with other departments when you're doing your report. Sometimes in an accounting world, a transaction is affecting all departments in an organization, and you're getting the end of the stick. You better know from the beginning of the process what happened, what influenced this transaction to be, so that you can produce an accurate and a complete report. The other advice I'd like to give to the young accountants just joining the field: you were excellent in school. You were respected in school. When you enter the corporate world, be humble to learn. I'll repeat that again. You were excellent in school. You were respected in school. You even had the power to speak anyhow to your teachers, anyhow to your lecturers. You had the power. Then you were the client in the system. When you come into an accounting world, be humble. You are dealing with clients. The power has shifted. You are no longer the client. You are the one servicing the client. Be humble. Humility will take you far in an accounting world as an intern or as a trainee accountant. You need to learn how it's done. You learned the textbook way, which is good. You will have the founding principles and theory, but you know nothing as yet up until you know how it's done. How does it affect the organizational performance? How does it affect the economy? What you do every day has a ripple effect, a beautiful ripple effect. But if you come I don't want to use the word stuck up, but if you come thinking you know it all, it's difficult for senior people to deposit themselves in you, in a sense of them pouring skills that you desperately need to be a competent accountant. In a corporate world, no one has time. No one has time to to train you. So when they give you the time to train you, it's actually a sacrifice on their side. So if your pride gets in the way not to take seriously the opportunity, sure, all I can say is sure. What I'd like also to mention to the young accountants joining the field, please keep your portfolio of evidence up to date. Follow up with the people that are training you to complete your portfolio of evidence timelessly. You need it. You're not going to be following up on people when it's time to submit the portfolio of evidence. In other professional bodies, they would expect you to email that POE. So please, please, please manage the completion of your portfolio of evidence and know what is expected in the portfolio of evidence in terms of your experience. You might be awarded a learnership or an internship or articles, and yet what you're doing every day is answering emails or sometimes assisting in something that is important in an organization, but your POE has not stipulated you to do that. So it is important that you understand what is expected in your POE and share that humbly with your mentee, with your immediate line manager or your team leader in terms of the expectations that are there in terms of experience with your professional accounting body. This can be any accounting body, so you must know what is expected in your portfolio of evidence. The other aspect I would like to share with young accountants, if you have upcoming exams, discuss that earlier on in your internship articles or your learnership. Discuss that earlier on with your mentee or your immediate line manager. Do not come a week before the exam applying for leave and then you have this anger towards your manager when your leave is declined. Managers plan their staff. So if they have deadlines to meet and they can't let go of a resource, your studies take the second line in terms of organizational staff management. So it's nothing personal. But if you communicate that earlier on, if you were awarded a learnership or an article contract and you starting in January, for instance, communicate that you're a CTA student. Communicate that you're a CTA student and you're going to be asking for leave round about this time when you're doing control test and your exams at this time. Book your leave as far back as January so that your manager can plan accordingly. Now, if you come September asking for leave in October and there's a financial year end in September, you're not going to get that leave. You're not going to get that leave. So please communicate timelessly your exam timetables and make your academic journey while studying a smooth one. Also, what you need to do as a young accountant entering in the field, learn to create networks in the organization you are working at. Learn to create networks. This can be very beneficial for you as you are growing in the accounting space. The higher you go, the smaller it becomes. The same finance manager you had 2 companies back is going to be your CFO. In that time, you're no longer an article clerk or a trainee accountant. You're an accountant, and you find that the person you worked with a few years ago is actually a rank higher. And if you created solid networks there, you're going to have a smooth transition whenever you're joining a company. But then if the person didn't know what you brought into the table, yeah, I can just stop there. So guys, I'm just going to be loading career content every Monday, career installment on my YouTube channel, and any other day I'm gonna be sharing about academics. Thank you. Please like, subscribe, share. This is a free content, and for those who have subscribed, thank you so much. And those who have liked the videos, thank you so much. And those who have shared the videos, asbong. Bye.